Hi everyone, welcome. We're going to take a minute here and let everybody kind of trickle in. Just take a moment and then we'll start the webinar. Hi everyone and welcome to VENZA's Hospitality Webinar Series, where we bring together external experts and the VENZA team for information-packed 30-minute conversations addressing critical issues facing the industry. This month's topic is critical security threats. We'll be covering the key cybersecurity issues facing hoteliers in 2023 and how you can stay secure. For long-time viewers of VENZA webinars, you'll notice some changes to our format this year. We're continuing our style of bringing our experts to discuss focused topics, but we'll be improving the delivery and the impact of our webinars by blending important news topics and company updates. Our goal is to keep you in the know. Our webinars are designed to deliver the most impactful news so that you can stay on top of issues facing your organization without having to sift through huge amounts of information on your own. As we mentioned earlier, each webinar will have a dedicated topic. Today's is critical security threats. Let's talk about scams, from ransomware to phishing to banking fraud. They are a constant threat to hoteliers. The best defense is awareness. We'll be covering what to expect from cyber criminals in 2023, key trends used by threat actors, breaking news from the start of the year, and how we recommend that you stay secure. Some of the specific topics that we'll address today will include ransomware, latest phishing trends, ChatGPT, and invoice fraud. But let's dive right into today's main topic, security threats to focus on for 2023. We want to give you a broad overview of the threat landscape to keep you aware of the challenges that exist. There are a few areas that we'd like to focus on. The first one, it's not going away, ransomware. The threat of ransoms have been, momentary difficulty there. The threat of ransomware has been surging and shows signs of only accelerating in 2023. Ransomware has become so frequent and harmful that top security researchers have referred to it as scandemic. This has been driven both by state and non-state actors, and there's been an increase in ransomware attacks from Russia and rogue states. Do you need hacking tools, but you can't write code? There is a new business model that exists to facilitate ransomware attacks, known as ransomware as a service, which makes the hacking tools available to anyone with money to purchase them. The spread of ransoms has been made evident in a string of recent attacks targeting hotels. In mid-December, the German H hotel chain was hit with an attack. This came on the heels of events targeting Nordic Choice hotels in Europe and the Allison Inn and Spa in the United States. It is important to take note that ransoms are starting to hit mom and pop businesses along with large corporations. Cyber actors have issued demands for payments of as little as $500. So it should no longer be assumed that you'll be safe simply because you believe your company is below the radar. Next up is our old friend, phishing. Phishing is a perennial topic. As advanced cyber defense tools like EDR and MDR and login threat monitoring have improved and are more widely available, the cost of hacking a system in a traditional sense has gone up. As a result, criminals have shifted to targeting the human firewall. Those are the people at your organizations. Social engineering attempts like phishing try to exploit human error to gain unauthorized information or access. One common saying is, you can't patch people. That means that no matter how much you invest in software and secure physical systems, it's only as good as the humans that support it. On the topic of phishing, we wanted to highlight risks during tax season. It is that time of year in the US and elsewhere, and it's not just the IRS that's after your wallet. It's also a prime opportunity for cyber criminals who are looking for soft targets to defraud. Cyber criminals rely on their usual bag of tricks, but with some unique twists, smishing, hoax text claiming to be the IRS direct victims to bogus websites that steal personally identifiable information. Remember, the IRS does not use messages or tax communication. Phony phone calls. Thieves are impersonating federal or state agents to intimidate victims with threats of fines or jail time unless they pay a bogus overdue payment. This scan is common enough that the IRS has its own FAQ on the method. Next up, 3, we'll talk about invoice fraud. We wanted to also highlight another very popular scam that appears to be increasing in prevalence: invoice fraud. How it works is relatively simple. The would-be criminal waits until there's an email exchange involving bank information or payment, and then they interject a fraudulent email directing the transfer of money to the criminal's own account. Over 2.1 million people are victimized by these banking scams every year. When we have an article devoted to how to identify, prevent, and mitigate this type of risk. But while we're here, we wanted to quickly mention that you should always be diligent when handling an electronic communication or transfers related to financial information. Pay close attention to small details like spelling to spot places where a fraudulent party may be operating. Be sure to double check bank transactions before you make them. As simple as it sounds, having a procedure in place where you confirm a transaction with a recipient through one method other than email, like a phone call, can often head off these scams entirely. Fourth and finally, ChatGPT. For our last specific topic of the day, we wanted to discuss ChatGPT, the AI system taking the world by storm. By now, you have probably heard about the large language model ChatGPT, or maybe even had a chance to play around with it yourself. Some of the capabilities and ability to recreate human-like tasks are truly astounding. This has raised questions like, what will this mean for the hospitality industry? What will this mean for cybersecurity? And will this be good or bad? Here's our assessment. ChatGPT will benefit hoteliers by creating new opportunities for automated guest interaction. Small LLMs will be able to provide guests intelligent answers to a range of questions from concierge services, help desk, booking, and customer service. This can free up staff for other tasks, but may raise customer expectations, so make sure you stay ahead of the trend. Despite this, don't plan on replacing your human staff anytime soon. LMs are a long way from being able to independently satisfy many mission-critical tasks. Think of it as a supplement rather than a substitute to your existing customer service tools, at least for now. 3, for cybersecurity, expect phishing attempts to become more sophisticated. Gone are the days of scams written in broken English. Next generation phishing attempts are already using ChatGPT's writing skills to create more convincing emails. ChatGPT written malware will be worth monitoring. Cyber criminals have already begun exploring the use of ChatGPT's coding ability to write functional malware. This will decrease barriers to access for small, unsophisticated actors and potentially increase risk of attacks. Next up, I had the pleasure of sitting down with David Christensen, Chief Information Officer of VENZA, to find out how his expert opinion on these critical security threats are facing our industry. Let's go ahead. Hi, David. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing well, and we are so glad to be sitting here. In case you didn't know, this is David Christensen, CIO of VENZA. And David, we just got through talking about these 4 topics that are threats this year, 2023. We wanted to see if you agreed with our assessments of the threats, and are there any elements you'd like to add?
Yeah, Sean. I mean, it's great information that your team's already provided for the viewers on the webinar today. I definitely would like to add a few things, like for ransomware, for instance. one thing we're seeing, even though it is increasing over the years and has and probably will never stop increasing, because definitely monetary value in the hackers doing this ransomware as a service type stuff. But
Right.
what we're seeing is payments from victims of ransomware actually have dropped from 79% to 41% over the past few years. So I think it was 79% payment. And I think it was 2020, 2022, 41% made payments.
Mm.
And because of that, what's happening is they're getting smarter. They're people backing up their stuff more, or they're just not paying it. So what's
Mm.
happening is because that reduction in payment, hackers are now re-exploiting victims that had previously paid. So,
Ah.
right. So if you paid for it and you thought, oh, I'm free and clear, and you didn't do anything with your machine, you didn't clean it, you didn't scrub it, you didn't sanitize, you didn't re-wipe everything, just reinstall Windows and reset the machine. More than likely, that code is still on your machine. So the hackers can just go re-exploit your
Even
ransomware
after a
again.
full install?
After, well, you have to do a full install, right? It's a
Yeah.
clean everything.
Yeah,
But a
you
lot of
have to.
people, they don't know any better, right? So they just say, "Oh, paid, I'm free," and
Right.
it's not the case. So
Yeah.
what hackers are doing is re-encrypting everything, and now you got to pay again, right? So that's
Right.
kind of what they've done recently. We call it the re-exploiting of it. So that's something new that they're starting to see a kind of an uptick in. Another thing in ransomware is some states have or are contemplating making payment of ransomware illegal. Like
Mm.
I think it's state of Florida last year, year before, they actually, looking at if we make paying it illegal, then the hackers are going to have to change their way because if citizens cannot pay
Mhm.
because it's illegal, then
Mhm.
what, right? So there,
Mhm.
states are starting to look at that. I think there's some pros and cons to it. Some cybersecurity insurance think, hey, it's a good idea. Some don't. So it's really kind of a very right now, I think, kind of objective. In a lot, where are the pros and cons? And then there's a lot of subjectivity into it. Is it really going to help the cause? So
Right.
that's I would say keep our eyes open to what's if you're in certain states and it is illegal, then you have no choice. You can't pay it. So,
Right.
right. So that's kind of where we're seeing in the ransomware space.
That is
For
crazy.
phishing, I know we talked about it. Definitely, it's always ongoing. It's not going to stop. It's just like ransomware, which is a lot of times created and exploited by a phishing email. It's definitely not going away. And I think we talked about tax season a little bit on that
Yes.
in this last little bit segment here. So I'd like to add, it's not just tax season; it's seasonal. So if there's any time of the year that there's just something special going on, if it could be the holidays, it could be spring breaks, it could be, let's see, Fourth of July specials, Memorial Day, get your free
Right.
barbecue, buy one get one free, right? Those types of seasonal things are prime for phishing emails.
Right. They're going
That's
to
when the
use the appropriate bait for the
correct.
season. They're changing the bait. Yeah.
They're changing the bait. So right now it just happens to be tax season. So any emails that says, "Hey, your W-2 is incorrect. Download the latest." It was incorrect. So you can expect a $197 refund if you fill out this form now. Right? Just be very
Right.
mindful. But that stuff is not going to stop tax season. It's going to be every new seasonal thing. So it's always
Sure.
good to update, not just do a I'm going to do 4 or 5 campaigns a year. Let's really focus on sometimes what are the baits that work on any given time. And one more
Excellent
thing
point.
on it's kind of in hand with phishing. What we're seeing in the hotel space right now is kind of a social engineering. It's a call, right? Someone's calling you and saying, "Hey, this is Tom. I'm a tech with Lightspeed. I'm here.
Mhm.
We're here to help you with your latest PMS point of sale update." And it just happens to coincide with the real update time frame. And it's effective because these people on site are expecting to do the upgrade, and then somehow it's for me, it seems like it's happening so much that it's almost like insider knowledge. They know when the
Mhm.
software is getting updated and they major push, so they're calling the hotels that they know have that solution. And what do the people do? It's like, oh yeah, yeah, I heard about that yesterday. So they're letting them on the machine. They don't have to do anything else. They and then they walk away and let these hackers play with on the machine with the unfettered access. So
Yes.
it's something else that we've got to make sure. It's if you get that call and and you're not the right person that really should be managing it, it's call your IT person, call your point of contact at Lightspeed or at Oracle,
Mm-hmm.
at such and such, and kind of verify before you do anything. Don't ever let anyone on without really knowing who they are. One last thing, I would like to throw something in on invoice fraud. Um,
Oh, okay.
Right. So vendor management is mandatory. We've got to do that for organizations. You got to make sure the documentation, your spreadsheets, however you're tracking your vendors, it's got to be current, available for all employees, and contact information. Because really, one of the best ways to, identify and stop invoice fraud is to one, is it a legit vendor, right?
Right.
Because you know, invoice fraud could be someone claims to be from your supplier or internal and trying to change payment details for an existing vendor, or it could be just a fake vendor trying to send you an invoice. Hopefully, you not knowing better and you pay them, right?
Okay.
So having that vendor management tool, knowing who owns that vendor in your organization, because each vendor should have a owner. And
Sure.
then so hey Mary, is this the vendor? Is this the contact? And then call the contact, the actual company, to find out. So there's really, the one way of stopping that is really just uh, a complete vendor management, and that's part of a lot of compliance too. PCI requires that you've got to do it for most security. Cybersecurity insurance is really wanting you to take control of vendor management, because a lot of your hacks and your breaches come from a third-party vendor too. So it's not just trying to stop invoice fraud because I have someone I can call and make sure I've got the right information, but also just where's your risk.
Right. Are they secure? If your vendors aren't, you're
Right.
only secure as the vendors you let in sometimes.
That's correct.
So
Do it.
let's talk about one of my favorites. I know you've used it. I've used it. It's a lot of fun in a weird way. But let's talk about Chat GPT. Do you see AI platforms as a potential threat, or will they improve cybersecurity? And what do you see the future holding in this area?
So I'm going to say yes and yes. Definitely, it can be a threat, but it's definitely helpful too, because
Sure.
even though with Chat GPT, that you're not supposed to be able to write malware, and we talked about malware a little bit earlier,
Mm-hmm.
but there's just ways of circumventing that. There's paid versions of Chat GPT, there's free, there's APIs, there's all these different ways. Even though you say if you ask for a malware to write a SQL injection code, blah blah blah, it's
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you we can't do that, but cybersecurity experts have tested it, have had been able to work around that, and it allows custom malware to be written by hackers with no coding skills. In the past,
That's right.
so usually you have to have the coding, but now these what we call script kiddies, who are young kid, even teenagers with no coding experience, can now have this tool potentially write malware for them, and push it out. So definitely with that, it's and definitely helping the messaging content. I think we talked about earlier the emails, spear phishing helped write that, but another component of hacking is having fraudulent sites that you're sent to, not just the email itself that's content, but ChatGPT can help you write messaging content for sites themselves. That so that it's not misspelling.
Mm-hmm.
The grammar's fine, and it
Right.
looks like the real site. Because when you click on that email link, where are you going to? Some site. So these fraudulent sites, and it could be a payment site where you're actually putting your money in, and then which means credit card and all that information. It's another way that ChatGPT is being used, and also if used in conjunction with the other tools like adversarial AI, which basically is a video and audio, I call it a deep fake simulation
Yeah.
site,
Yes.
can impersonate anyone using AI chatbots. So, Sean, I can literally use this. I can look like you, talk
Mm-hmm.
like you, and someone's going to think I'm you.
Right.
So imagine if you're,
Which is
I'm gonna,
scary to
it's
think about
scary,
anyway.
right? So the deep fakes are really scary out, because it looks realistic. You're looking at somebody head on, it looks like them. You can basically almost fake their language and their voice and all that. So that's
Wow.
basically what they're using now to kind of, hey, let me see you on video on Teams so I make sure it's you. Well, it looks like you, but it's not.
Sure. Wow. Given all of these threats we've discussed and the scary landscape for the year, what steps do you recommend for our clients to take to stay secure? And what are some concrete steps they can take to mitigate their vulnerabilities?
Yeah. Well, first, focus on high risk, high value targets. How do you do
Okay.
that? You've got to know what is your high value targets. You have to have do your risk assessments every year, have your business impact analysis, which we call it BIA. You've got to what in the GDPR world, it's data mapping. Where's my data? So you need a map and catalog where's your data, where's your everything that's, and then categorize it. Is it sensitive? Is it private? Is it public? Is it whatever? And figure out what information is the most valuable for your organization, whether it's monetary, reputational, if it gets hacked, things like that, right? And once you realize what's the most high value and figure out now what's the risk to that, this one's high risk. Why? Because maybe it's open to the world. This one's little risk because it's only available to a certain subset of individuals at work in a closed network, right? So
Right.
we need to
Okay.
focus on, what's the value, what's the risk, and then once you figure that out, you've got to, then that's where you focus your money, because everyone only has so many dollars to spend. There's not enough money in the world for everyone to cover all risk and get rid of it. So you really
So
got to,
you want them to prioritize their investment based on where's their greatest risk.
where's your greatest risk? Exactly. And when you're doing that, since what we see a lot is the ransomware, you've got to be able to stop that first, right? So usually it's the tool set. It's a defense in depth, or layers upon layers, and there's different ways. So you've got your phishing campaigns and training is going to be one component to change your, that's the human firewall. You've got your EDR and MDR. I think we talked a little bit about that. It's your antivirus that are advanced, that's looking at behavior analysis, and it's stopping ransomware in its tracks. Email
Right.
security to stop the emails coming in. And then you got your SIM logging and monitoring systems that are looking what's coming in, going out. Wait a minute, that person doesn't normally send 1 terabyte of data at 3 a.m. in the morning, so let's stop them right now because, and they're sending it to Russia, right? So
Right.
those type of solutions,
Anomalies.
anomalies that you've got. So a lot of it is using AI. So once again, we go back to AI world. AI is going to be able to look at all of this information, analyze the behavior, and say, wait a minute, this doesn't look like the baseline of this user. Therefore, let's stop it and find out, or watch it a little bit, and then if it then starts communicating with a known bad actor, because there are tons of bad actor sites and lists that have the IP, the countries, whatever that looks like, and it knows this come from a known bad actor, it'll stop it because it's already been evaluated as and blacklisted. So those things in place. Now, if the hacker gets through everything, all of your layers, you've got to have backups and recoverability, right? That's how you're going to recover if someone gets through. If ransomware happens to spread, and you don't want to pay the ransom and get re-exploited, or it's illegal in your state possibly, you've got to be able to back up from that, and then hopefully you've got backups of your most sensitive information, and also your backups should be based on how quickly and how often that data is backed up. So for sales activity, point of sale stuff, if you're making sales constantly every minute, then you probably want real-time backups. But if it's something that doesn't change that often, you may be good with daily backups, weekly, monthly backups, right? So it's all about how often you need it based on your information, how high risk, things like that, and then making sure you test those backups, because at the end of the day, your backup covering of that data is critical for business continuity.
Great. That is all seems to be very common sense solutions there, and a way to look at it. David, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll see you on another webinar here. Thanks again. See you later.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Next up, we'd like to talk about, you'll see all of the topics discussed here today are mirrored in one of the newest features from VENZA, the VENZA Echo. To discuss this more, we want to bring in Casey Harrigan, technical communicator at VENZA, to tell you what Echo is all about. Hey, Casey, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, Sean. I'm the lead on the VENZA Echo, and I'm thrilled to be able to share a little bit more about it with you all today. The originating idea behind the Echo was to create a means to share VENZA's thought leadership with our clients. Our company is fortunate to have extensive in-house expertise, and we wanted to pass along their insight. We know it can be hard to keep up with the quantity of news about the industry and cybersecurity, so our goal is for us to do the work of sifting through hundreds of articles for you, and then to distill that information into short, easy to understand pieces. The Echo includes a weekly feature that will follow a monthly theme. For the coming month, the theme will be the philosophy of cybersecurity, a topic that might sound abstract, but contains some great pieces to shape how you think about and approach the topic. You can find more information on each of the issues that were discussed here today in the articles on our website. We've shared a link in the handout here, and if you need them later, you can get them from your designated customer success coach. We encourage you to sign up for the VENZA Echo Digest. It's free, and you can get the Echo delivered directly to your email. No spam, we promise. Also, we are open to suggestions on topics for the Echo. If you want to hear us address a topic, let your coach know. Our goal is to serve our clients, so we'll do our best to touch on subjects that are in the most demand. Thank you. Back to you, Sean.
Thanks so much, Casey. We want to take a quick moment to pass along information about product updates here at VENZA. Here to do that is our own Barbara Espinoza, Product Marketing Director with VENZA. How are you, Barbara?
Hi, Sean. I'm great. Thank you. Well, Sean, we constantly strive to find new ways to add value for our clients. And in light of this very important topics and the critical security threats coming up, we have definitely been planning ahead. And at the beginning of this year, we successfully released our Vision 23 roadmap product updates. The highlights of Vision 23 included a reworked security awareness training, translations of our courses to 8 languages, new proctor training certification, and the creation of our client support site, as well as additional resource materials to guide our clients through the journey. We also released private LMS revamps and the addition of remediation courses for VENZA phishing, such an important topic today. And we also updated our learning content for PCI DSS 4.0, which is coming at a fast speed. So if our clients want to stay abreast and start preparing for it, we have the resources available for you. All of our clients can see our newly updated roadmap as well for a preview of the exciting product additions coming up this year. And this quarter, we have already released the intermediate and advanced learning paths of our popular peak training courses. They have been modernized and equipped with new features to provide businesses and their employees with the necessary knowledge and resources to stay safe online. As we mentioned today, you're only as strong as your human firewall, right? These new intermediate and advanced learning paths use engaging graphics and interactive exercises to maximize retention. And we have also updated statistics and best practices to deliver high precision information accuracy. And we are building all of these new training modules in mobile-friendly software platform that allows employees to train how and when it's best for them. So these new VENZA learning paths are available now to all of our existing customers and include translations as well to 8 additional languages from English. So we have Arabic, we have Chinese, French, German, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, and even Thai. We have also added new resources, standalone training resources and tools to simplify and streamline the delivery of our programs. We know CPRA is a big topic. It came into effect in January this year. So we have new resources to guide you through compliance with CPRA. We are guiding you through governance as well with 20 brand new policy templates that have been added to our library. We have streamlined the SAQ completion process for PCI, simplifying our general manager questionnaires and our IT questionnaires. And we have also put together a data privacy compliance checklist for all of our clients, as well as a new quick reference guides on our PCI DSS compliance, SAQ preparation, and other QRGs from our security team, as well as data breach coverage. All of this has been released already this quarter, and we keep ourselves busy. We're still working on assisting you with facing these critical security threats through our security awareness training. Thank you. Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Barbara. Where are we going to be in 2023? Here are just a few of the shows to kick off our year so far. Let's start with Hunter. VENZA will be attending the Hunter Hotel Investment Conference from March 21st to the 23rd in Atlanta, Georgia. Hunter hosts more than 1,700 guests from around the world. VENZA sales representatives will be on site if prospective or current clients would like to connect. If you're going, you can certainly connect with Scott Fisher and Sean Remedios. Next up is the Independent Hotel Show. VENZA will be attending the Independent Hotel Show in Amsterdam in the Netherlands from March 14th through the 15th. The event is a great opportunity for luxury, boutique, and independent hotels to connect with VENZA and explore our latest products. Be sure to connect with Daniel and Emil, and hear about some new and existing options for small properties. Well, we've come to the end of our presentation here. That wraps up the inaugural edition of the Hospitality Webinar Series for 2023. We'd like to thank all of you for attending. And remember, in that downloadable that you get, the PDF, there it is right there, you can register for all of our future webinars. We know all of you are busy, and we know that you can attend some of them, you can't attend others. Go ahead and register for all of them, and you'll get the reminders, and hopefully that'll help you attend more regularly and make it a part of your schedule. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to VENZA Echo because you can't make the webinars all the time, but you still want to get the information, do subscribe to that. We've got a lot of great industry information. We want to keep you ahead of the curve there on that. And of course, if you have any questions about what we've presented today, or if you need information on products, you can contact our sales team, and that email is on there. Again, thank you everyone for attending the webinar. We'll see you next time. We'll be ending the webinar now for all participants. Thanks so much.